Hi, I'm Wendell Steinhauer, president of the New Jersey Education Association. NJEA is committed to celebrating excellence in education. That's why we're proud to support Teacher Appreciation Week, a special series produced by the CAUCUS Educational Corporation celebrating New Jersey's talented and dedicated teachers.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, Englewood Hospital and Medical Center, Montclair State University, New Jersey Sharing Network, dedicated to saving lives through organ and tissue donation, Verizon, and by the North Ward Center. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Monthly, the magazine of the Garden State, available at newsstands, and by New Jersey Family Magazine and njfamily.com.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Tim Hogan is a teacher at Howell High School that has one of the largest autism spectrum disorder support programs in the state of New Jersey. Tim, good to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Tim, we're about to see a video, part of the Classroom Close-Up series produced by the New Jersey Education Association. You're closely connected and committed to this initiative, connected to autism because?
I have a child who's severely autistic, and this whole program all started because we've had some really bad experiences, our family, because he has autism. And one night I was on the boardwalk down the Spring Lake along the shore, and a lot of people, my son was having a behavior because dogs were being running loose. People were breaking the law, basically. And everyone kept telling me, oh, it's okay, the dog's fine. Well, it wasn't fine. You were really blowing up his world. And I ended up having to drag him off the boardwalk in a headlock, and everyone just stopped and stared, and I could hear people saying things about what a brat he was and what a bad parent I was. And that night I went home and called this woman I work with, Mary Collins, and she has a group called the Anytowners, and they are about getting diversity into schools. And I called her, and we started this assembly.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we take a look at this video? We'll come back and talk. Because I happen to know, as we know, the Classroom Close-Up people put together some powerful stories, and here it is right now.
Imagine
that people may laugh at you because you act differently.
Imagine
that you may physically attack your family and teachers for reasons you cannot explain.
Student peer leaders at Howell High School are spending a day speaking with their classmates to promote autism awareness and acceptance during National Autism Awareness Month.
It's very important, especially students in our school where we do have an autism program and we do interact with children with autism. It's important to know how to interact with them. So that's why we really put this together.
Howell is home to one of the largest high school autism spectrum disorder support programs in New Jersey.
Do not stare or laugh at someone with autism just because they act differently, and do not put your arm around or hug someone with autism.
Instead, offer a high five, handshake, or fist bump.
Along with information, the students present short films that have connections to the school, including interviews with siblings of autistic students and a discussion with teachers who work in the ASD program. Though perhaps the most personal connection comes from business teacher Tim Hogan, who shares his family story.
it is so isolating.
Hogan became the driving force behind Howell's awareness program 6 years ago, following a challenging experience involving his son Sean, who is on the autism spectrum.
That night, I happened to be down on the boardwalk walking with my son, and some dogs were going by, and they started barking, and my son has issues with that, and he got visibly upset, and everyone stopped and stared.
The experience was not an isolated one, and Hogan decided he needed to do something to educate people how to interact with autism. So he reached out to fellow teacher Mary Collins about recruiting the peer leader group she advises, known as the Anytowners, to help inform the entire Howell community about autism.
The Anytowners are 9 seniors who were picked by the principal and myself, and we saw that these were the students in the school who really stood out as far as their leadership skills and their ability to make an inclusive environment in Howell High School.
Hogan is deeply involved in the awareness efforts. During assemblies, he shares intimate details of his family's life through stories and a short film titled Autism Island.
There's been so many horrendous things that have happened to my son and our family because he has autism.
It was one of those horrendous things that sparked Howell's latest awareness initiative, asking students to take a pledge.
And we can start by pledging to not say the R word or retard.
That incident inspired the creation of a social media campaign and video that has drawn significant attention to the cause.
Last year we launched this campaign. We had 190,000 views on Facebook all over the world. Australia, England, Ireland, most of the US states, all over Canada. So I do believe we're making a difference there.
What's been the reaction?
It was tremendous. The R word video, I don't hear it anymore from the kids. Just putting that out there about how hurtful that is. Because, you hear high schoolers talk, that just becomes part of their vocabulary. Instead of saying something stupid, they use the R word. And I just don't hear it anymore. I used to hear it dozens of times a day.
Explain to the rest of us, everyone watching right now, why it hurts so much.
Because to me, you're making fun of my son. You're making fun of anyone who has a physical or mental disability. Every time I hear that, I'm like, you're making fun of someone. Mental retardation is a diagnosis. And we have lessened it because of that slang term. But
it's not funny, is it?
Not at all. Not at all. And it's hard. It really hurts me every single time I hear it.
So those of us who have used it and think we don't mean anything need to step back.
Words matter. Words absolutely matter, and that's one of the words that really matter. And there's so many other words that can be used, and that was part of what we were trying to tell our students. Let's use something else.
Your son's experience / your family's experience, how's it changed you?
Honestly, I wish I never knew what autism was, because it is brutal to watch my son not have a normal life. He doesn't have any friends. He's never going to live independently. He's going to be with my wife and I till the day he dies. And then from there, it's a huge question. I don't know where it goes from there. There's not a lot of funding. I go to a lot of seminars to find out about it. So my whole life is autism. Where I live, where I work, I had a partner. I was a partner in an accounting firm on Wall Street. I gave it all up because of my son.
So you're saying that he won't be able to interact with other people?
He goes, no. His vocabulary is not his vocabulary, his ability to speak is like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
He gets very aggressive. Like in the video, you saw him with these blue headphones on. No matter where we go, he wears headphones. So we now have him wearing these headphones that have music in them, so they don't look as like there's something wrong with him. Right. He wears them all the time out. Anytime we're outside the house, because he's got so many issues. Like the local fire department, they were so great. The fire whistle was going off, and it would send my son into a tizzy, and he put holes in walls. He would physically come after me. I went to one of their meetings, and they were super. They turned the fire whistle off for us.
They cared.
Yeah, and then now we're doing it through electronic.
What is it that, if you could send one message to everyone else right now, other than what you said about the R word, what's the message to all of those watching, all of us?
People with autism are people. They never ask for this. They were born with this developmental disorder. And they're not doing anything wrong in life. And if you see someone where you think, oh, maybe he's a brat, whatever, no, think about it. It may be something else. And show some compassion to these people, because people with autism are the most genuine people in the world. Like, my son has attacked me, I can't even tell you how many times. But he's the most genuine person in the world. There's no hatred in him. There's no bigotry. There's none of that. People with autism don't have that. They're just the most honest, genuine people in the world. And you're going to know where they are at all times.
So we just assume, and we're often wrong.
We assume
when someone acts a certain way, we know why, and we don't very often.
True. Absolutely. You just assume, well, it's because the kid's a brat or an adult. I mean, and we're seeing the population of people with autism is just growing, and we're going to have adults doing these type of things.
Tim Hogan is a teacher at Howell High School, which has one of the largest autism spectrum disorder support programs in the state of New Jersey and the nation. You're making a big difference. You just made a big difference now. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you for having me.
To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
We welcome Candice Bland, who is a Spanish teacher at Hightstown High School. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You do an amazing thing. You take your students to Spain?
Yes.
Where in Spain?
To Granada, to the south of Spain, Andalusia.
Who are these students?
They are my students in levels Spanish 3, 4 honors, and AP, or dual enrollment, who want to enrich their Spanish language skills and extend the school year, because it happens after the school year in the summertime. And I start promoting it come June for the following July, and they just start signing up. So it's been happening for about 6 years now.
It's a beautiful thing, and we're gonna, instead of just talking about it right now, Candice, we're gonna show a video from the Classroom Close-Up series produced by our friends at the New Jersey Education Association, Candice Bland, and her students going to Spain.
Otra cosa interesante que te pasó en España.
My name is Candice Bland. I am a high school Spanish teacher here at Hightstown High School. During my graduate degree at University of Delaware, I won the fellowship to go to the University of Granada as a professor for a year. I really just remained friends with all of my colleagues in the University of Granada. And about 6 years into my teaching career, they started sending me emails like, Candice, why don't you bring some students over? And finally, in the year 2010, I decided to take them up on their offer. When we get to Granada, we pull up, to the plaza. All the families are standing there waiting. So they get off the bus, they have the pictures of the kids. They're like, oh, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine. And they go home, they get showered, they have their first dinner with their family, and then the next morning, it's time to go to coursework.
Entonces, en español, ¿quién quiere decirme la vida con la familia?
Sí, la cosa que me gusta más es la sobremesa. Y la sobremesa se trata de una conversación que se tiene después de la cena normalmente. Y se come la cena a las 10 de la noche. Y hasta la medianoche, están discutiendo cosas de todo, de la vida personal, de la política, de la vida contemporánea. Es muy interesante.
They were studying enriched classes, immersion classes in the morning, and in the afternoons doing cultural excursions.
It really is a life-changing experience, and for me that happened when I was 15 with a similar program. To have the opportunity to do this in high school, I mean, it opens up your eyes to a world that is just so amazing. I mean, traveling really broadens your perspective on life.
Matt, what was one of your favorite excursions that you went on?
It really opened my eyes, because this is a whole nother culture, a whole nother way of expressing yourself, a whole nother art form, and I got to experience that firsthand.
I want them to be more of a global citizen, and I want them to understand the importance of being bilingual. It is so important for us, especially to speak Spanish, especially in New Jersey. We have a huge need for bilingual professionals in all walks of life.
Conocimiento.
Vale.
No pasa nada en Granada.
Hola, chicos.
Riquísima.
Muy bueno.
Extraña.
Vete a Granada.
Bonita.
Pásatelo bien. Tapas. Muy divertida. Fantástico.
Muy chulo.
Global citizens. What do you mean?
I just find that a lot of times I meet students who do not have the impudence to leave New Jersey and don't want to see what's out there beyond their doorsteps. And I feel it's part of me as being an educator to want to make them lifelong learners, as giving them that travel bug, And if they're interested and trust me enough, I'll take them with me anywhere. Because it's a huge trust factor. And they have to want to be with me for 20 days. All of a sudden I go from having one child of my own biologically to having sometimes 35 students I've brought with me. And it's a lot. It's a huge responsibility, both for me and it's a huge risk for them. They don't know how they're going to react to a new culture or live with another family, shower in another bathroom, eat food that they're not ever used to eating or thought they would never ever try.
Right.
So I like to show them that they can and will survive and come back completely changed. And their view of life is just more worldly. And they're able to go out into the world. I feel like I'm prepping them to be an adult. Whether they're gonna go to college or go into some sort of trade, that they have the confidence in themselves and believe in themselves. That I traveled, I went on my own, I dealt with my own passport, I dealt with my own finances, I dealt with a language barrier.
That's
and
second
I
language.
survived.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Being bilingual, why does it mean so much?
Bilingual brains are beautiful brains. And they see double meaning in everything in life. And as that's one of the motivations for a lot of my lessons when I teach. So the idea that I can bring them abroad and show them how amazing and fulfilling it feels to be able to communicate to another person in their language, not just a language they understand. If you talk to a man, there's a quote by Nelson Mandela, if you talk to a man in a language that he understands, it goes to his head. If you talk to a man in a language that they speak, it goes to their heart. And I love that quote, and I like to see that happen with my students right in front of my eyes, not having to force them, like it would be a forced, non-organic situation in my classroom. And to see them use organic language, it's amazing, it's so fulfilling.
How much you love what you do?
I am enamored by what I do, and it motivates me every day to go to work and show kids that speaking another language is assuming another trait in their personality, because you have to put on a show and know how to assume that character, not just speaking it in a linguistic fashion, but also a social fashion, and knowing the cultural cues. And I loved traveling to Spain. It changed my life. I did a very similar program, and I'm still best of friends with the people I lived with when I was there. And it makes me feel like I accept people more, you know?
You're changing young people's lives,
Yeah.
potentially for the rest of their lives. Candice Bland, who is a Spanish teacher at Hightstown High School. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well done.
I appreciate it.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
Dr. Jeffrey Lee is Vice President for Academic Affairs and Chief Academic Officer at Essex County College. Good to see you, Doctor.
Good to be here.
Doctor, you are part of the series Classroom Close-Up that our colleagues and friends at the New Jersey Education Association, they featured you. We're about to see a video that features you and your work with Sofia Medina, who is a student from Ecuador, correct?
Correct.
And why is this significant, we're about to see?
She is one of our students who has come from so far back. She came to this country looking for education with her family and has the ability and had the stamina to succeed in classroom, but just didn't have the academic ability and the immigration status issues. And so she came to us, and we were able to help her to the point where now she is finishing up school at Johns Hopkins University and debating on whether to go to med school or for a master's in public health or to do all of the above.
That's awesome. By the way, your area of expertise is?
Microbiology.
Oh, that thing.
Yes, that thing.
Pretty awesome. Microbiology. This is a piece from Classroom Close-Up, which you can catch on a regular basis on the great NJTV, the public television station in the great state of New Jersey. This is the video piece that features Dr. Lee and Sofia Medina. Check it out, Classroom Close-Up.
Sophia Medina is a graduate of Essex County College. She comes back often to visit with some of her former professors, especially Dr. Lee.
Out of probably 2,400 students over 22 years, she is one of the top 5 that I have seen academically.
It's very nice.
But her academic success has not come easily. Throughout most of her life, Sophia has faced many uncertainties because of her undocumented resident status.
The main reason why my parents decided to move our family from Ecuador to the U.S. was mainly for educational purposes. During my senior year, I was applying to several schools. I got accepted to one of my top choice universities at the time, which was Penn State University. And seeing that there was just no way for me to pursue those opportunities for economic reasons and also my immigration status was very disheartening. It was like, I'm going to Essex County College and I'm gonna be there until I get my residency. If I'm there for a semester and I get my permanent residence, then I'm transferring after a semester. In a way, it was sort of an arrogant behavior, and I recognized it, and very quickly when I came here, I was humbled. I met very empathetic professors and people who not only helped me to grow academically, but helped me to grow as like a human being. So I ended up staying here for 3 years, so longer than what I initially expected. But when I got here, I wasn't in a rush to like get out anymore.
It'll start off with
2014 was a great year for Sophia and her family. She graduated with a 3.96 GPA and is currently enrolled at Johns Hopkins University in the pre-med program. The Medinas also received their permanent resident status.
Dr. Lee has been one of the people I treasure most at Essex County College. So to have someone who was like so on board with me and to be like, yeah, absolutely, like I'll help you is really great. And that motivates me because I don't think I have any reason not to succeed.
She's one of the students who you really know has the abilities and you know can do well. They're the ones who you know you'll see in the newspaper or you'll see running research labs. To know now that when I see that down the road that I had some hand in getting her there makes me happy.
How could you be any more proud?
Like she was my daughter.
I mean, what did you see in her when you first met her?
She was a student who went beyond the classroom. So in the classroom, we have certain things we work on, things students are expected to do. She was always going beyond that. She always had dreams beyond that. She could see things beyond the classroom that I just found astounding.
So, you know, Sophia, one of the millions, if you will, who come into this country, immigrants, undocumented. Do we have any idea what they face?
They face a lot. They face scorn in some cases. They face ridicule in schools, in public schools in New Jersey, where they do get a very good education. They're often disheartened because they don't have the ability to, what you heard, apply to different schools because of their status. Many times young students and young people like Sophia, they're supporting their families, their parents, their grandparents. They're the ones who know the language, so they're the ones that have to act as the mediators for court cases and other things. And so, particularly for the young students and the young people coming into the country, have a very, very hard, very heavy burden on them to support themselves and their families.
What kind of contribution could Sophia potentially make to this country, to this community?
Sophia, like a lot of our students that come through biology, the ones that I've seen, they don't so much want to be doctors to go out and have a practice and specialize. It always comes back to, I want to help people. So it's never, I want to have a practice, this community needs help, or this country doesn't know basic medicine or basic health care. So most of them are looking at medical degrees, but then looking at a much broader expanse of helping other people. They all seem to have that same I want to help the world mindset.
Why do you teach?
I love it. It's something I didn't plan on doing 40-odd years ago, but Essex is a unique place. It's a place where my colleagues and I come to work from very different backgrounds, like our students, and we stay there. We're like an extended family. We don't always get along, but we all believe in the school and we all believe in our students, and that's what keeps us coming back.
A few seconds left. I'm a student of leadership. So are you. What's the greatest lesson you've learned about leadership? Greatest lesson in leadership is?
Greatest lesson I've learned in leadership probably would be my father, who's now passed, who has taught me to not belittle people and do what you can with what you're given.
You clearly have.
Thank you.
And Sophia Medina, one of your students, is going on to great things. She's at Johns Hopkins right now.
Correct.
Dr. Jeffrey Lee, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Chief Academic Officer at Essex County College, part of the Classroom Close-Up series that we feature together with the NJEA. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, Englewood Hospital and Medical Center, Montclair State University, New Jersey Sharing Network, Verizon, and by the North Ward Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
My husband and I spent more than 30 years in the public schools. We're retired, but we like to stay involved.
Do you think he's going to learn to fly?
We're just as busy now as in our teaching days. The same goes for a lot of the retired educators we know.
Let me see you all flap your wings like you're penguins learning to fly.
Teaching is all about building relationships, and that never goes away. Because once a teacher, always a teacher. We're Ed and Miriam, and we are proud to be New Jersey educators.